Alright, this is the highlight video for our trading room at Greatstockpix.com from Wednesday, August 10th. I'm gonna go over the highlights first, and then I'm just gonna quickly try to breeze through all the calls because I get a lot of people complaining that we don't cover every call every day. But because we trade the way we do, it can be kind of monotonous to show everything because we definitely have a lot of small trades that either are small gainers, flat, or small losses, and it's just, to me, would be tedious. But for the purpose of appeasing people, I will go ahead and show everything today, okay, from today. But I'm not going to do it every day. Hopefully it'll give you a taste of what we mean. TSL, let's get my arrow here, called it 1470, right there on that green candle. Stops 7 cents below, right below that green candle. Now, the only way I can scroll to the right is if I make the arrows disappear, but from 1470 over the next 30 minutes or so to 1537. So that was a 67-cent move in our favor. As we teach, we scale out on the way up in parts and certainly protect. Once we start paying ourselves, we do not let it turn into a loss. 67-cent move in our favor on 7 cents risk. Riverbed RVBD called at 23.55. That would be somewhere right around here, 23.55. Worst case stop, 21 cents below, so probably right here. So there's your margin. And from 23.55 without stopping out, this thing went to 24.46, a 91-cent move in our favor on 21 cents risk. A little bit wider risk than I prefer, but still a nice move. And Electronic Arts, one of our bottom feeding plays, I called ERTS at 1760, right about there. Worst case stop 1751, 9 cents below, and it went to 1803 at the height without ever stopping out. Right then, at the very end of the day, we were already out, of course. But not a horrible move and a great risk reward there. And now I'm going to go into the rest of the calls from the day. Also called Riverbed earlier, and these are the ones that are less than stellar, but you'll see why I don't go into these too often. 23.28 with a 23.15 stop. I believe that was right there is where it triggered, and the stopped out right there. 13-cent loss, happened pretty quick. So there was one that didn't move enough to get us some money in our pocket. PCS off the bat this morning. Well, I'll just leave the whole chart up there. PCS actually made a couple calls in PCS and made money on both of them, but called PCS right here at 9.51, and within 10 minutes it was at like 9.62. Because it was a trade in the first 15 minutes, I'm already scalping for a dime on some. When it came back to my entry, I was out the rest. So made some money on there, even though you could make the argument that it went down afterwards. Not the way we teach to trade. We always sell some into that first spike, tighten up the stop on the rest. It's called defensive trading. And the other call on PCS that I made, I don't really like doing it, but I did it. I called a high of day break. It hit 962 right there and hit it again right there, and I thought the third attempt, 963, could get it going. PCS is pretty beaten up on the daily. Whoops, as you can see, and had some room to run. You can see it on maybe 60-minute candles. You can see how much room it had. So I did call 963 here, and it went to 973 and then a little higher. But again, another scalp. So that was actually money in my pocket, even though it didn't move very far. What else do we have? AU, I called at 44.39, another high of day break, which happened right about here. And it went all the way up here over 45. But that one, to me, was a no trade because when I called it, it looked like this, and I wanted it to break out of this base. Instead, it went down first, and we teach you don't take the high of day break after that. Matter of fact, this would have been a good setup over this little base because then it went back up through. So not really fair to say that I call it because, and also it occurred during lunchtime. I wasn't even around for it. But the entry was 44.39. So if anyone took it, it did make it to 44.53 before coming back to the entry, or to the stop 44.29. I think it was a dime stop. So there, I don't know that anyone took that because it broke down first. It's not where I would have taken it, and it happened during lunch. Let's see, I already talked about the other PCS one. And then the only other call was LLNW. Called it right here, thinking it could get going, and it didn't get through the high of the day, so that was like a 4-cent stop. Here was the trigger, here was the stop, stopped out. Also called it here above this base, and there was a trigger and there was a stop, so 4 or 5 cents stop out there. And then later in the day, called it about 233, thinking that could get it through the high of the day, and then took a flat on that one. And it had like a 3 or 4 cent stop as well. But I told everybody if this doesn't get through 235, which is what I was looking for, to get us maybe a little mini short squeeze, I'm back out. And within 5 minutes, we were out flat. And that was it. That's the entire gamut of trades today, unless I missed one by accident, but it wasn't intentional. Anyway, a pretty good day on a tough trading day. Market is acting a little bit weird. It's been very clean. I said in my video last night that I hadn't had a losing trade since I got back from vacation, and then I went on to say that I knew I was jinxing myself, and I had a couple stop outs today. The biggest one was 12 cents, and I had a couple for a nickel or less, I believe. So anyway, I'm not going to babble too long here. We will be back at it in the chat room tomorrow morning looking for more low risk entries. So we'll talk to you tomorrow night with the highlights from what we do tomorrow. Have a good night.